Happy Friday to you. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shea. We got a lot of things to be excited about. It looks like nothing from the tropics making a direct impact on us over the next few days. And the Astros are tied in the ALCS. Of course, we got Game 5 this afternoon in North Texas. So I am excited to see what's going to happen, but things are looking good. But of course, I'm here to tell you about what's happening in the tropics. And although it is pretty quiet for Southeast Texas, we still have about 10 more days or so to get through October, and we also still have all of November to get through before we can say goodbye to our hurricane season for 2023. So overall, we are expecting the threat for tropical systems between now and the end of hurricane season to diminish, to go down, but it is still possible. So that's why we will continue to do these updates every single afternoon all the way through the end of November. Let's start off with what's happening out there, because it may be quiet here with the tropics, but we've got not one but two hurricanes brewing out there in the tropics, one in the Atlantic and another in the Eastern Pacific. So we're going to start off with our hurricane in the Atlantic. This is Hurricane Tammy, and it is still looking fairly organized, and it is getting very close to some of those Caribbean islands, parts of the Lesser Antilles. That's where we have some tropical storm watches, warnings out, and even some hurricane warnings out for this hurricane, which is going to bring the potential for some flooding and some very strong, possibly damaging wind over the next 24 to 36 hours for parts of the Caribbean islands that I just mentioned, especially the Lesser Antilles. So we've got a hurricane warning out for Guadeloupe. That's where they could get several inches of rain, maybe those winds gusting up around 90, maybe 95 miles per hour, with the sustained winds around 75, maybe 80 miles per hour. So it is going to be some pretty rough conditions for parts of these Caribbean islands as we go into the next couple of days. Currently, Tammy at 75 miles per hour with those maximum sustained winds. Movement is to the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour, and pressure is down to 991 millibars. You see that it is expected to strengthen as we go through the weekend, with those winds coming up to 80, 85, possibly 90 miles per hour over the next couple of days. It is going to clip some of those Caribbean islands. It should stay just to the east of Puerto Rico, so that's good news for them, but they still could get some of the outer rain bands and some gusty wind and some larger waves, but especially over towards Guadeloupe, that's where this hurricane will likely push right over, and that means the threat for flooding and some very strong wind. As we go into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, notice that Hurricane Tammy will start to make a sharp turn to the northeast. So that would take it away from the east coast of the U.S., and that would certainly keep it away from the Gulf of Mexico. It will likely pass to the east of Bermuda as well. So good news for them also. We will switch now to the Eastern Pacific. That's where we have our other hurricane. We've got Hurricane Norma, which is back to being a major Category 3 hurricane. Earlier today, it was a little weaker at a Category 2, but now back up to a Category 3. We're also monitoring this tropical wave just south of southern Mexico, and it now has a high chance to develop into a tropical cyclone over the next few days. So we'll have to watch that one closely. But first, let's talk about Hurricane Norma, and this is still a pretty dangerous hurricane just off of the western coast of Mexico. At this point, those maximum sustained winds have now increased to 120 miles per hour. That pressure down to 955 millibars, and it is moving to the north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. So that northerly movement, that northerly track, will likely take it up into the southern portions of the Baja California Peninsula, and that's why we do have some hurricane warnings in place there. That will likely happen the second half of this weekend. Then it's likely going to make a second landfall as we go into early next week, right along the western coast of mainland Mexico. So definitely the threat for some flooding from that heavy rain and some very strong wind that could do some structural damage and could produce other types of damage in the area. So certainly just keep in mind that this is a pretty dangerous hurricane. We're not going to have any major impacts from it, but a lot of this moisture will start to spread into Texas as we go into early next week. You will see some of those colors blossoming across Texas on the map for Monday and Tuesday. Not much through Sunday, so no rain expected for this weekend here But notice, by Monday night, we do start to see a few showers near Houston, up towards Dallas and central western portions of Texas, and it does get even heavier for Tuesday. So we are expecting a little bit of that tropical moisture to ease its way into the state. I think the heaviest stays back to the west and northwest, and that's actually where they need it the worst, back towards San Angelo, Austin, San Antonio, where there are some pretty rough drought conditions going on there. So it looks like much needed rain headed to the state. We will eventually get some of those showers, but our better chance for rain will come towards the middle and end of next week with the cold front. Now, let's get back to what's happening in the tropics. Gulf of Mexico remains pretty quiet, but we are monitoring this little system in the southwestern Caribbean. This popped up over the last 24 hours. This is something of concern. It is a broad area of low pressure where you see the yellow X there. The good news is that it is moving mainly to the west. It's not moving north, so I don't think it would get picked up and push into the Gulf of Mexico and head our way. So it is tracking west. The other good news, there's only a limited window for this to develop. It is already very close to that east coast of Central America, and there's only a low shot that it would turn into a tropical depression or tropical storm over the next 48 hours, just a 10% low shot, and over the next 7 days, just a 20% chance. So it looks like it will continue to drift to the west. It's not going to have much time over water to develop. So I think by Monday or Tuesday, it's likely making landfall in Central America. And hopefully we won't have to worry about that one anymore. So I don't think that it is going to push into the Gulf. So good news for us. It has certainly been an active hurricane season. No tropical systems here, but we've had several named storms, and we've gone all the way from Arlene, and now we are down to Tammy with only 2 names left, Vince and Whitney. So we certainly have had our fair share of systems, and we've still got over a month to go in this hurricane season. So far, officially 20 named storms, 6 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes. For those named systems, it has certainly been an above average season and near average number of hurricanes for the 2023 Atlantic Basin hurricane season. As far as the water temperatures out there, they are still super warm, super steamy. We've got several temps reading in the 80s out there across the Gulf of Mexico. It is the same story for the Caribbean, for the Atlantic, still very warm water that could help to fuel additional systems if they were to get going. So that's why we are still concerned that we could still have a couple more of these tropical cyclones popping up on us before we can officially say goodbye to this hurricane season. So that's why we will continue to do these updates. We've still got very warm water out there. And of course, as we start to get more of those cold fronts coming in and pushing out into the Gulf, there's always a chance you could get a little spin up, an area of low pressure developing along those fronts. And that could potentially turn into something tropical out in the Gulf. So hopefully that won't happen. I don't see that happening at least over the next week, but we will watch it closely. Keep checking in with us, and we will keep you updated on what's happening in the tropics. Also, make sure to download our Fox 26 weather app. Plenty of useful weather information there. We've got our weather videos, forecasts for the tropics, for your local weather, and of course the all-important weekend forecast. I'm sure you're excited about the weekend, and you can find out what's happening with the Astros forecast there as well. Well, I am Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a great weekend.